And good morning, YouTube. Welcome. Thursday morning, March, is it 9th? 8th? 8th. March 8th. How's everybody doing? Thanks for coming back, checking out the chat. You're getting a little bit of morning news in. We're going to start off with some news on the bird flu outbreak. And this is continuing out of China here on the screen. Running this down, give a hat tip to our buddies over at Full Spectrum Survival. If you're not subscribed to them over on the YouTube, go check them out. They had this and the MERS virus in their morning update. News in 2 minutes. I'll pull that over. If you're not familiar with Full Spectrum Survival, they got a news in 2 minutes and other videos you can see here. Go check them out. We'll put the links in the description box. But I was running down some information and found them this morning, and they had run that as the part of their headline this morning too. So go check that out. But this report out of China, outbreak kicking up out there. What's called the H5N6 or bird flu. It looks like it's hit the animals fairly hard. It's comparing some past history last year. They're going back some of the history. This is all history. But I guess just this backs up just to show some of the history behind this new report. I guess there's not a lot of information coming out of China on this new one. It's been reporting in what's called the Shanxi province. So something to be aware of, as we've seen these outbreaks spiral in the past. Just be aware. And to go with this, with the Full Spectrum Survival story was the MERS cases that are coming out of the Middle East, which MERS stands for Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome. So it's what's called a coronavirus, and they have a new outbreak of that, and that they've got a fourth secondary hospital acquired case this week. So they're concerned about outbreaks in hospitals and healthcare centers there. We've seen this get kind of out of hand in other places. So starting off with those two topics, just health world related. Always nature will find a way to kill us all in the end if it wants to. There's always something bigger and badder, even if it's not big and bad when we look at it. Just for some perspective. If you know what I'm saying. So how's everybody in the chat doing? Go in and check the side chat here, see who's showed up. M. Long is getting more snow, he says. Barry's getting rain. Yeah, we're going to go through the weather here in just a second. Let me get over there. And the crazy Scotsman's with it. And I believe, Scotsman, if you're like everybody else on the East Coast, you definitely are tired of rain and snow and everything else. But moving on over there, again, these links we'll put in the description box when we're wrapping it up. But the report is that storm out on the East Coast, you guys got over 1 million without power, 1 killed in New York. Who knows for what? Wreck of some sort. Getting some good snow. obviously. Yeah, just some good video. I guess this is a women's basketball team, I guess, trying to push the bus, and the cameraman just sits there and takes a picture. I get the So that's the situation out east. Weather is coming down as that storm rolls through, and I guess there's talk of more weather coming, another nor'easter shortly. 3,000 domestic flights canceled, so if you can't get on a plane, it's probably because of this storm, no matter where you're at in the United States, because they all affect each other. Let's see if we get any storm total maps or anything down here. It's all Twitter pictures, some flooding. It's like that's down in North Carolina. Coastal flooding. All right, no maps there. Let's kick it back over to the regular page. The current, you got all that snow up in the northeast. And you got that rain, like you're talking about, Barry, coming in on you from the Pacific Northwest. Snow in the Rockies. Looks like you're going to get a fair amount of rain there, Barry. Hey, good morning, Sparks. What's up? You got to have some crack every morning, right? Just to live in this reality, crack's a useful thing. So everybody's looking pretty clear. You got, looks like scattered snow and stuff going on around here. Like you're saying, Long, you got snow there in Kentucky. It's just kind of all scattered out all around there, and from North Carolina up through you and everything. It's not one big concentration. But they were talking up here. Another storm coming after this one is the big question mark. And that would be, I mean, we've had what, 4 or 5 weeks straight of some sort of storm rolling through the Midwest and East. Pretty bad when you're trying to get stuff ready for spring and your gardening and stuff, right? East Coast could face another coastal storm early next week. That's what the headline down here is. Yeah, they're saying it could be coming in early next week. So you got something to look forward to out there on the East Coast. I know Walter Davis posted a snowplowing video as part of what he does on a daily basis out there in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh, or the Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Last night he posted that up, so he's been busy. They're going through past history here. I don't care about that. Let's see what's going on for coming up. They're unknown how severe it's going to be, but it would be the third storm in 10 days. So they're just saying be prepared as usual. Preparedness is a good thing. So something to look forward to out there if you thought you were going to get a rest. Maybe not. Hey, good morning, Poison Stinger. How you doing? Looks like it's clear down there in your neck of the woods like it is here. The high desert's either clear or stormy. Really not much else. So, yeah, if anybody's got anything you want to bring up, just put it in the side chat. We'll track it down or bring it up or whatever. But next, we'll roll to our favorite agency in the nation, unconstitutionally provided FBI. I think this has been around for a while, but it's now making headlines again. And this is from the Zero Hedge. And it was obtained through a lawsuit last year. I think, yeah, I remember this coming out. So they've been paying the Geek Squad people to get people's information for who knows what. Any random drug dealers. I mean, what Geek Squad's like going through people's computers and, hey, I saw this. You can all imagine the bad things that they might find on people's computers. But the FBI has been paying them for that information, so it's not like the Geek Squad people find something that they know shouldn't be on somebody's computer. They pay them as informants. We know how that works. Computer intrusion and cybercrime. So if you're a hacker, don't go to the Geek Squad to get your computer fixed. Best Buy officials have enjoyed a particularly close relationship with the agency for at least 10 years. Best Buy hosted a meeting with the FBI's cyber working group at the Kentucky repair facility. Interesting. So yeah, they've been quite cozy with him for some time. The FOIA documents also revealed a $500 payment from the FBI to a Geek Squad informant directly related to a California doctor. That's a they figured it would have something to do with child porn a lot. So while I can imagine that there's nothing wrong with somebody finding something in the scope of their work and reporting it to the FBI, but when they're being paid and then they search, obviously, everything that comes through, that's a unlawful taking. Unlawful search, I guess you'd say. So these Geek Squad people were getting paid, and they're like digging for stuff as they go through people's computers to find it. It's not like this happened upon it. So they essentially became FBI agents. So that could become an issue with people trusting the Geek Squad, I'm sure. I think it's pretty obvious that they use the worst example of the most heinous example of, something that everybody would like them to find, I guess, with the child porn. But what about all the cases of people who were found things that were fairly innocuous that got brought up, I wonder? I mean, were Geek Squad reporting, marijuana deals, and were they reporting, I can't imagine, money laundering, I don't know, a long list of things. All your Bitcoin information. But that was going on. There was an unusual story. It came out yesterday. Unusual in just that the timing and everything. Murder-suicide near D.C. is out in Maryland, I guess, or near Baltimore. They're playing it really hush-hush. The FBI is not saying anything. The FBI wouldn't say what the guy worked on. They're saying it's in the result or part of an ongoing divorce issue. Is kind of what they're tying it to, but with all the things the FBI has been going through, I couldn't imagine not being tied to something that's going on. So putting that out there for you, if you didn't see that. I guess you'd have to say it would. People that stay in those type of positions makes you wonder if the organization is, as we've seen a lot of the issues with the FBI over the last several years. What else? I got recommendations out here. What's going on? Poison Stinger. Yeah, a hacker that needs to go to the Geek Squad definitely would be challenged. Yeah, Stinger, that's the easy way to get people to turn away from somebody, for sure. I think um, the biggest case of something like that, I think, is I can't remember is it Dwyer, 4th of July Patriot, when he got arrested. Accusations against him were brought in a way that designed to split him and any mode of support that he might have. Kind of similar to shape. They come at a lot of people like that with things, maybe not as drastic as that, but things that will try to get the everyday person to not support them. So some info on you for that. If you hadn't seen or were aware, and this reference is, yeah, that article is. But that, speaking of finding Bitcoin on your computer to report it, the FEC, Federal Exchange Commission, Securities Exchange Commission, put out some regulatory requirements for cryptocurrency exchanges, and all the currencies are getting hit 2 days in a row now. They're back, et cetera, et cetera. So again, that whole anonymity point for the currencies is kind of fairly quickly. Japan has suspended operations on one of its exchanges. And news of a Hong Kong-based exchange being compromised yesterday as well. So no good news in the cryptocurrency world. The good days might be over before it gets going. All right. The governmental banks definitely don't want a truly independent currency like that. So it's all going to have all this working against it. And it's just like commodities, manipulating this would be fairly easy when you consider how it's small a market value the overall cryptocurrency market is compared to what they can swing leverage wise at it to control it. Just something to think about if you're involved or thinking about getting involved. Like I've so many times is don't put in Bitcoin what you would take to Vegas. That's what I would do. So we're about halfway. Anybody got any more recommendations or stories out there? Mason Specter of online platform for trading digital assets was a statement yesterday. So all the different cryptocurrencies that are popping up, trying to squash those, because there does a week pop woodwork. And what is with us? You done plowing this morning? We got some more weather coming. We were just checking that out a minute ago, talking about you had your video up last night on snow plowing. Say might get another storm early next week too. Story of the day, and the political economic impacts. Earlier in the week, was it Tuesday or Monday? We're talking about the tariff plan. Republicans are coming out hard against it to not do it. Really, their argument is to focus on certain countries because people have been running down the implications of a broad. And we're saying in the chat the other night, I believe it was it seemed that these tariffs would have more effect from close on China, and somebody hypothesized they might be using leverage in the NAFTA negotiations to get better negotiating traction there. All possibilities. But, if Congress is really concerned, they would withdraw the ability of the president to just willy-nilly issue tariffs out. They would rescind that authority, because all trade law, everything has to go to Congress. And wherever they abdicated, we'd have to look up where they abdicated their authority to impose tariffs, but that's the power of Congress to do that. They could solve that, a lot of them, pretty quickly. So House Ways and Means Committee, so it's been 7 Republicans on the House side. Yeah, I really want to focus on China. Looks like, yeah, here's the reference. So Trump was relying on 1962 law, allowing him to sign new taxes into law by executive order. Last applied in the 1990s. It's not been pursued since 2002. Should just rescind that and take back their responsibilities, certificating everything. If you know what I'm saying. But it's too hard to work for Congress, so they just tell somebody else to do it for them. So that's going on, and the economic implications are yet to be found, if any. But the thing about, especially if you're in the anything, it's going to have a big effect if it ever gets implemented. We kind of talked about that earlier in the week, or was it late last week? Still companies offering bonuses if it does go through, but how is that going to offset the inflation, the different tariffs on different products, like aluminum cans? Make sure you're buying your beer. What's going on outside chat? Looks like everybody's putting news out there. Yep. Yeah, it's pretty snowy out here right now, Sparks. If you wanted to go kick around in the snow. All right, got minutes left. We hit the weather. We hit the MERS and the bird flu outbreaks coming out of the news. Friends over at Folsom for Survival, they were reporting on that. We'll put that in the description box. And those stories out of Saudi Arabia, China bird flu, something to follow on if you're so interested. That's about it for today, folks. On the stuff that seems to matter, there's all kinds of junk under the radar, of course, or on the front top headline, I should say, as usual. But everybody has a good day. We'll see you. If nobody else has got anything to report other than digging out, if you're out east, to dig out and get ready for some more, it looks like. So you're gonna be busy. You got time to. Here's some kind of stories in the middle of the drudge about restarting operations if these tariff plans go through. And there's the big question. Mexico and Canada exempt. That would be a part of those NAFTA negotiations that are probably ongoing. Let's look over that wasn't there earlier. So the implications that this is from the Hill. They could receive potential carve-outs for them, which would be part of that NAFTA negotiation. It would be case by case and country by country basis. We would determine whether or not there's a national security exemption. So that's just getting floated around out there again, trying to create leverage of some sort, politics being played. But the markets don't like it. A lot of uncertainty in different economic circles. All right, folks, that's enough for the day. Y'all have a good day. Go out, live, eat.